Under 44:30 here this morning. It is July 30th, and I am laying down some more second cutting hay. Is leaned over towards the east here, so it's not cutting the best going this direction, but coming back it cuts a lot better. Got the 313 New Holland disc vine hooked up here, and we are laying down some alfalfa this morning. So we are currently about halfway done with the second cutting. Yesterday was the first day we chopped. We baled about 80 acres of dry hay last week with some good weather, and then the rest of it here, what we got left is on each side of this road here. And but yeah, had a heavy dew this morning. We had about 2 inches of rain 2 days ago, so I had about 40 acres that got rained on. So it feels a little tacky, but we're trying to get her done. So we've got the 144/30 on the mower, and then I'm in the second 44/30 right now, and then the third 44/30 is running the bagger. So I just got my first load for the day. It's still just a tickle on the wet side here, so we'll have to watch we don't juice the bagger and or plug up the feeder conveyor, whatever you want to call it, the rotor in there. Didn't quite have a full load just because it's a little wet on the one side, and everybody else was there at the field. So you can see the bag sagging just a little bit there from yesterday. It was probably about 70% moisture if I had to guess, so I wouldn't want it any wetter than that. But just got a couple more loads here and we'll finish out this bag. I got another 300 footer ready to get put on, and we'll start again and hopefully get that filled. Hopefully get that filled up with second cutting yet. So we'll probably fill about 200 foot of bag today, most likely. And it's only, we started here about 12:30, so got a long afternoon ahead of us. But Cohen's running the 44/40, so I'm coming up on him. He's got a full load headed back to the farm. Got a low power line we're dealing with again today. They haven't got that fixed yet. There's a cable line, but so we got the power shift tractor chugging right along. This guy's started on the next field here. Got a little bit of a washout in that spot there, but still got good moisture, so it's definitely not going to get too dry on us today. We just got one more smaller field right over there. My mom's raking right now, and then there's 2 fields I mowed this morning, so that'll probably be a little bit later on in the day. But yeah. Back at the bagger here, still good moisture in the hay yet. Just finishing up the last of the rained on hay, and we'll get into the hay I mowed this morning after we get the bag switched here. Got 3 more loads to put in, and it'll be time to put the new one on over there. So that's what's going on. Got the bag switched over, and we're getting started on the hay I cut this morning here. It is 3 o'clock now, and it's about 90 degrees and sunny, so stuff is definitely drying out today. It's not going to be muddy much longer. Headed back. What's going on over there? They like to August 12th, Tuesday here. It's about 11:30 in the morning here now. Got chores done, and the guys that haul our Manure JI Ag Service, they got a pump that we're using. We're using our John Deere 7830, and then they got a Fendt, I think it's an 828, an older one, on one of their tanks. So they're just running one tank right now. They're hauling on a sedan grass field that we chopped Saturday, and so it's a little bit watery right now. It's going to get thicker as the day goes on here. Hopefully we can get most of it, if not all of it, empty here today. We've got a control, all the controls for it. They just bought this pump the beginning of last year, so this is our second time using this pump when we emptied the lagoon here. But we'll go ahead and keep this moving. So we got to slowly move this nozzle around. Try to keep it agitated. The solids will start showing up here pretty soon. You'll start getting some sand dunes, and you can see a little bit better where you need to run your water to. So it's not very thick, like I said. We don't have much solids we push into it like we used to. It's mostly just runoff. So it's an 11-minute round trip, and it takes a minute and 20 seconds roughly for me to load them. So it's going pretty good so far. Had a bit of grass to break up here at the beginning, but hopefully shouldn't have any trouble since we got a nicer tractor on. I had the 4630 on it last year, and it did not have enough horsepower to run this pump. It was like half throttle if you had it at like full throttle. So it's nice to have 200 plus horse on this pump. I think 250 horse would probably be ideal, not gonna lie. 8-inch pump, I think it is. Yeah, 8-inch pump, so it doesn't take long at all to load. And yeah, hopefully we can be done tonight with it, and we'll see. But we got one sedan grass field to chop later tonight. It's only about 6 or 7 acres, so it should only take 2 hours. But I might end up hauling solid manure later tonight, so might not be able to help with that. We'll just have to see how the day goes. But yeah. So we can put that nozzle up. We can blow it clear over the pit if we would like, but we're not gonna do that here today. And then left and right are the main functions here. But I've already went around on the bottom and broke up the solids around the pump, so probably do it again the next load, just trying to alternate where I'm shooting the solids out, or the liquids I guess I should say. So we'll put this back down and do some damage underneath, I think. But yeah. Getting them loaded here again. So all you gotta do is hit the load button, and it'll switch from agitate to load, and then he doesn't have to get out. So the second he's loaded, he can leave, and the second he backs up, I can load him. So runs pretty fast doing it this way. So and then slow it down a little bit towards the end here. So the nice thing with this is we can come out here and we don't have to be sitting in the tractor while it's operating. You can stand outside if you want and run it. Got some solid build up here. You can see the water's coming up brown and black. Just slowly moving this back and forth, and we'll break this solid up here. We already got most of that side, I think. There's a lot of manure built up around this edge over here. That side over there is mostly sand for the most part, so. So today is September 3rd. It's right after lunch now. Get back from school about 11:30, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here for the afternoon. So get done with school a little earlier this year, so allows a little more time to get things done here on the farm. But got typically 2 or 3 pens to bed every single day, if not more. So today we have 3 pens to scrape in bed. Pens 3 through 5. Pen 3 is pregnant pen, and then 4 and 5 are both of those are breeding pens. I like to do these pens on Wednesdays, scrape and bed them. We have vet check every other Thursday, so get them scraped and bedded the day before, so it's simpler to do herd check. You're not moving cattle around with more manure in the pen, so we're gonna work on that. Set these gates up to bring pen 5 down, and then every time I scrape that pen, I'll move a couple into pen 4. Pen 4 is full right now, so we got vet check tomorrow. We'll probably just put the 2 oldest ones in there, and then we keep the youngest Holsteins and then all the jerseys in that breeding pen. So that's what we're up to right now. We'll scrape, put the manure in the spreader, and then pen 5 gets straw, these 2 pens down here, and then also the addition on to pen 3B here gets sawdust. So we'll do that later on in the day. But anyways, we'll get started. Up here in the pit area where we keep the 318G, we got the 318G up here. This is where we keep this. We're gonna move that, go push up feed before we get started here. Just been using this one.
Presented by the Richland County Foundation Gift of Grain Fund.
Turn that off. A little throttle. So today is Wednesday, so Justin scraped up at Moles and here at home for me. So he scrapes 3 times a week, the 2 freestall barns, and then I'll scrape here Saturday night and put sand in. So it helps out there. So he was using this here this morning. So we'll take the bucket off and we'll go push up feed here quick. Get a little AC cranking. Got this homemade feed pusher that I've got on this bucket I use twice a day to push up feed. Go ahead and attach those pins there, and we should be good. So I put sawdust in on the right side of the big barn here yesterday, and I haven't bedded the other side since Sunday. And today's Wednesday, so we need to get some straw put in up here also. Get this set, and we're off. Got all the equipment lined up out there. There's just enough room that we can turn around inside the barn here, if you're careful. And we'll turn around and head back down the other side. Smallest heifers have a bale of hay down here that they can free choice on. Lift it up. I told you guys earlier that I had 3 pens to bed today, but I have 5 technically. I got 3 pens I need to scrape in bed, which is scraping the manure out of the pen up along the bump where they eat. But I got 2 pens that I just need to blow straw into, so take a little bit longer. And then if I got some time, I got some plastic and whatnot to clean up also. So I'm coming over here to where I got all the buckets lined up, and I will grab the manure bucket for this loader. So we got 2 manure buckets here, and then the smaller manure bucket up at the pit, and then we got feeding slash sawdust bucket. It's the old feeding bucket. We got a new feeding bucket this year. It's a little bit bigger. That's on that skid loader there. Dad uses that to feed. So we will attach these pins on this. And we're off again. And then we need to come over here. I already got a bale in from the last time. Come over here to the John Deere 4320, and we will start this rig up. It's gonna start pretty hard. It always does. But it will start. Here. Poor man's battery disconnect. Sometimes it goes dead otherwise. Now we can set our gates up. So there is currently a crew here working on digging another well here at the farm, so we got more water for the cattle, since all of the barns are extremely full currently. And especially in the summer, we tend to run out of water. It's been an ongoing problem, but it's starting to get exceptionally bad now. And if we ever want to expand and build another barn, we're going to need water before we can do anything. So they're working on that the last few days here. Come on, girls. So this is about perfect to scrape in bed here. I've been putting one big 3x4 square bale in, and then also a smaller 3x3 bale. So usually do that every other day. That seems to be working out pretty well. So we'll scrape from the bunk to about here. The cement ends about in here. I always like to scrape over just a little bit farther, so then there's not as much over here the next time, just to stay ahead of it. So we'll let these guys hang out here. They got all kinds of room. And then we'll shut this gate. I got done scraping and bedding pen 3, just let those guys back in. And then I got pen 4 out here. Had to stop while I was working on that. The trucker brought a load of stone, and then he got a load of wheat out of the bin here on the way out. So helped him do that since it's down to the last 2 loads. So you got to run the sweep and sweep up the grain and do that lovely dusty job. But anyways, we got 1 more load left in the bin of wheat, and we'll be done cleaning that out. So anyways, get the spreader over here, and we will start in on the next one.
Wednesday, September 24th. So here's how this works. You gotta listen to Scott Sarah in the morning and bed in the afternoon for the last call for baseball sounder. Call in, and then you can win a pair of free rolling green suits for home. 3 kids goes.
Alright, we got pen 4 scraped and bedded now. It is about 3 o'clock now. So we'll let these guys back in. Both of these 2 pens I've been scraping and bedding every other day for probably close to 3 weeks now, just because there's a large amount of cattle in those 2 pens. Typically pen 3 is always getting done every other day, sometimes every day. But pen 4's got a lot in the breeding pen, so that's the reason there. Nice looking cattle in this pen, I'd say. I think these ones got less crap on them than pen 3, which is isn't usually typical. 67 in this pen currently. Come on, girls. This is next. This is the addition. I always do this last. Do pen 3 first, and then run pen 4 out and do them. If I'm scraping and bedding in the afternoon, right now I'm not super busy in the fields, so I can come home from school and get started right away. Come on, girls, get in there. So if I'm getting started by 12 o'clock, sometimes the breeder isn't done breeding, so I'll start pen 3 so I'm not in his way. But if I'm later at night, I start with pen 4, because pen 4 gets fed before pen 3. Pen 4 gets fed on first batch when Dad's feeding, so that way they're bedded, they come back into the pen, and then they get fed. So you're not trying to fight them as they're trying to eat, trying to get them out of the pen. It's just simpler that way. And then bed this last, then I can clean the feed aisle. The mixer needs to go through here, then we're not tracking in manure into the feed aisle, so you want to make sure you scrape this up and push it back into the pen when you're done. Got the first bale. Hold on, there we go. That's the first bale put in. Got a bale of triticale straw here. I like to use this on top. It makes a nice top layer, I think. The straw that I just put in is some straw that we had bought from a guy, another part of the state here. And they tedded it a few times, so it's extra dusty. So it's not very clean, but. So I'm gonna get this bale put in, and then we'll have to put the rest of the straw in later tonight when I get back. I spent like 10 minutes of my life talking to some random dude that stopped in from the USDA wanting to do some conservation practice survey on some random 3-acre field that we farm that's not even close to here. But anyways, that was about by far the most bizarre thing that's happened all day. But anyways, once I get this in, it'll be time to go feed at the other heifer farm, and then once I get done there, I gotta go to soccer practice. So let's get this bale put in. Got 4 strings. Just wrapping up here for the night. I think it's around 9 o'clock, so not super late. Got back from practice, and then I had to set some stuff up for FFA and at the local fair. Took me about 45 minutes probably to put the last 3 bales of straw in, equipment around and whatnot, stuff I had left to do here this afternoon. But going to push up feed for the second time today for the night, and got the bale grinding tractor down there. It's cooling down. I'll put it away when I get back down there, but we'll call it a day. I shouldn't have to bed any cattle tomorrow, which will be nice since I was a little bit heavy on bedding today. I'd rather it be a little bit more consistent, but wanted to get this done up here so I didn't have to worry about it and keep the crap off the cattle. So anyways, I better get going. Today is Monday, September 8th. It's in the afternoon now. Been scraping and bedding cattle, and then I had one pen I cleaned out. Just got done with that. Going up to the other farm to feed again here this afternoon, and probably haul 2 more loads of manure out up there this afternoon, and then I'm gonna start brush hogging some ditches again. 7830 here. Got a back tire on the 4840, blew out Saturday, so I'm gonna get a tire switched on that so we can run that again. But mostly hauling solid manure today anyway, so it kind of worked out to run this. I hooked this spreader up to this tractor last Friday, moved some dirt, some wet dirt that moved to the other farm. We got a project going on over there long term, so moving some dirt there, and then cleaning out all the smaller pen pack pens. Tomorrow I've got 2 calf pens to clean out, and then addition off of pen 3 there to knock out right first thing in the morning. So anyways, that's what we're up to today. Got 2 days off for the fair here, so get caught up on the odd jobs. Got some oil to change in the new skid loader tomorrow, since we're over 300 hours on that. Just getting ready to pull into the field here. Got a little driveway, and then some triticale stubble here. Unload on. A little bit rough. Deer over here in this hay field. Big buck. I think it's a big buck. Put it in C range. Shift down to C1. Open my tailgate and let my push start going back. This ground's already been covered heavily once. Once the push gets going, we'll speed up a little bit. I'm going about 5 right now. I want to go about 9 miles an hour. Go about 9 miles an hour, then we can make it half the width of the field. There's a waterway right in the center. So then I'll go empty, and then I'll come loaded the other way. Not today, but there's my little shifting button, I guess you could say. You can see the field is quite brown. That's from the weeds being killed and also heavily application of manure here. Start dropping it down since we're getting close to the end and we're not empty. It's really throwing the manure. We're gonna idle it back a little. So yeah. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.